Cinema Shogun here, and I think that the majority of us could agree that we are living in some really weird times right now. And I think even more of us could agree that the internet can be a very difficult place to navigate. It's hard telling what's real and what's fake. It's hard deciphering between what's fact and what is fiction. But I have a question for all of you all. When you see something online, when you come across some information that maybe seems kind of strange or weird or far out there, do you immediately write it off as being fake? Do you immediately label it a conspiracy? Or do you do your own independent research to figure out if this information is real or not? Do you take 30 seconds out of your day to leave a comment labeling the person who provided that information a conspiracy theorist or accusing this information of being one big conspiracy? Or do you take 30 seconds out of your day to do a quick Google search to see if this person is possibly telling the truth or not? Or seeing if this information that you ran across is truthful or not? You know, it blows my mind all the time that we live in a day and age where the sum of human knowledge, all of the information that basically humans have gathered since the beginning of time, it's all compacted and inside of this little device that's basically in our hands or in our pockets throughout the majority of our day. Yet we still live in a time where people are so closed-minded. They will immediately write things off as being non-factual or being conspiracies without just doing their own research. And this is a problem I run across pretty often on my channel. When you cover the type of things that I cover, of course you're going to have the naysayers. But I challenge anyone, just like I've challenged people in the past, do your research. Bring about one news story that I've ever covered that isn't a real news story. But like I said, we live in a day and age where everyone will just quickly label something a conspiracy. And I believe that's the real conspiracy in itself. How do we live in a day and age where all of this information, it's right there at our fingertips. All we got to do is look. Yet people will still be in full denial about facts that are provided for them. Facts that are out there for anyone to see. Now, one of these little morsels of information that people have labeled a conspiracy theory for the last few months is this whole situation that has to do with these gas stoves. You know, months ago, I told you that the government was now eyeing gas stoves, that they wanted to ban gas stoves, that this was one of their next moves that they were going to use in their desperate attempt to gain as much control over our lives as possible. I told you all about this months ago. I believe it was back in it was almost a year ago at this point. We've talked about 15-minute cities. We've talked about it all. But some of you all might remember that I believe it was back around January and February that this what was labeled a conspiracy theory about the government coming for gas stoves, it started spreading. People started realizing, hey, there really is a push to ban gas stoves. But guess what? Everyone was labeled a conspiracy theorist, myself included. I was accused of spreading conspiracies that the big bad government is coming for gas stoves, and people laughed. People laughed like it was one big joke. And now, here we are, today, 3 days ago, New York just passed a law to ban gas stoves. But you know what? I think we all need to gather together really quick and take a travel. Let's take a quick trip in a time machine. You see, the internet, it's kind of like a time machine. Because with the power of the internet, you could go look back and see what people were saying just a few months ago. Now, I want to prove to you all right now here in this video that our mainstream media and our government, the powers that be, and some of you all watching this video, are very guilty of labeling things conspiracies when they know damn good and well that they aren't conspiracies, that they are actual plans that they have and they plan on carrying out in the future. So let's go back in our way back machine and let's see what the government and the mainstream media was saying about banning gas stoves just a few months ago. Here's the first article. This comes from NPR. The facts and strategy behind the outrage over rumors of a ban on gas stoves. The conservative media was in an uproar last week over speculation that the government planned to ban gas cooking stoves and possibly seize them. It escalated into something larger online. Let's go to another article, CNN Business. That article was from January 20th, 2023. Let's go to CNN Business, January 12th, 2023. We're not taking away your gas stove, regulator tells CNN. The federal government isn't going to take away your gas stove, a top consumer regulator told CNN on Wednesday. Let's go forward. Let's look at what Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer said on January 26th. And I believe this article was posted on February 3rd, 2023. Schumer mocks the GOP. Nobody is taking away your gas stove. Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer is accusing Republicans of fueling a frenzy over unfounded rumors that the Biden administration is getting ready to ban popular gas stoves because they don't want to explain what spending cuts they want in exchange for raising the debt limit. At first, you have to laugh at the gas stove ban narrative being cooked up by the MAGA GOP, Schumer said in a statement released on Friday. Let's pause really quick. Now, keep in mind, I do have more articles I am about to show you all, and I could do this all day. This could very easily be like a 14-hour video, but I'm going to try to keep it at around 14 minutes. One thing you will notice when it comes to what they label as conspiracies, they always do this. They say, oh, that's a right-wing conspiracy, or oh, that's a left-wing conspiracy. When they do that, they know what they're doing. They're already eliminating half of the country. So basically, when they say, oh, that's a right-wing conspiracy, the left wing, people on the left, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, screw that. They're not even going to do their own research. They'll just say, that's a right-wing conspiracy, whatever. We don't like the right wing, right? They're manipulating you. And then when they'll say, oh, that's a left-wing conspiracy, they know the right wing will be like, screw the left wing. We're not going to listen to this nonsense. It's all a big conspiracy. They do that to divide you. They go ahead and make it political. The gas stove ban is not political. They're going to take away your stove regardless of who you voted for. You could be a Democrat, you could be a Republican, they're still going to take your damn stove away. So the joke's on you, in all honesty. But that's what they do. They label, oh, this is a Republican conspiracy, or this is a Democrat conspiracy. Usually, yeah, it's more so, oh, it's right-wing conspiracy or Republican conspiracy. But you have to understand, that's the tactic they use to go ahead and divide us. Now half the country isn't even going to worry about us banning gas stoves because they'll just automatically believe it's a right-wing conspiracy and they hate the right wing. So that's what they do. And as you can see, it worked because they're sitting here telling you, oh, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. And then literally like 3 months later, it happens. These people didn't even wait a couple of years, a few years. 10 years, a decade. No. These people waited like 75 days and went ahead and banned gas stoves after basically gaslighting all of the country and calling us conspiracy theorists for having enough common sense to know that they were about to do this. But let's go forward. There are plenty more articles. The dumbest reactions to the non-existent gas stove ban. This comes from Gizmodo, January 13th. But the damage was done overnight. Gas stoves became a possible symbol of possible government overreach. Republican politicians. Let's go forward. The gas stove ban conspiracy, all about circuits. And let's go forward. The Republican meltdown over gas stoves explained. So, and that came from January 13th, this also from January 11th. So you can see that just a few months ago, folks, we are in May. I know that we have short attention spans and we forget things very quickly, but come on. Do you not understand the frustration that I have doing the job that I do? I take my job, this stuff that I do on YouTube, more seriously than some people may think, maybe even more seriously than I come across in my videos because I like joking and I like humor. But I feel a responsibility when it comes to reporting information. And when I'm telling you all, oh, a gas stove ban is coming, when I was telling you all that 3 or 4 months ago, I'm not going to say things like that if I don't have knowledge to back it up. I'm not going to come out here and report on things that are just are fake. Anything I report on, if you do your own research, you will see that it's true. Now, of course, my videos include the facts and some of my opinions. We're all adults here. You should be able to know the difference between when I'm reading you all the facts and then when I tell you all how I feel about the facts. But, like I stated, I told you all about this months ago. Other people were warning about this. We all were labeled conspiracy theorists. But as you can see, and I could do this all day, I encourage you all, if you want to have some fun, go back and look at what these idiots were saying just a few months ago when we were warning them about this gas stove ban. And now it's here. They're doing this right out in the open. They don't even care. They'll label you a conspiracy theorist and then 2 days later come out with the same information you just came out with, and they won't apologize. Do you think any of us are going to get an apology? No. They will smear your name into the dirt, and then they'll come out and tell the public everything you tried to tell the public, and the public won't even bat an eye. They'll still view you as a conspiracy theorist. Meanwhile, the ban is here. Conspiracy where? The ban is here. Now, to the people who, I guess, I got to understand sometimes that not everyone was raised like me. I'm definitely someone that's more street smart than book smart. And I realize that we got a lot of smart people out here that just aren't street smart. Okay? A lot of that, the education you can get, you can go to college, you can get 1,000 degrees. It doesn't teach you common sense. And it doesn't teach you like the true nature of human beings and how wicked and evil they could be and just how wicked the world can be. Now, if there was not something weird or nefarious or downright just bad, if there wasn't something, I don't want to use the words evil, but let's just use the word evil. If there wasn't some evil, sinister plot behind the banning of gas stoves, then why wouldn't they just tell us what was up in January? Answer that question. When you have the government and you have the mainstream media telling you that it's a conspiracy, that you're a liar, we're not coming for gas stoves, and you have them denying what they're already doing, the plans have been in motion for years. It's not hard to tell. That's why we called this stuff out. But if you have them telling you, oh, that's a lie, we're not doing that, that's a conspiracy, and then they turn around and do it, how am I supposed to feel and why should I feel comfortable about it? That should be enough to tell you right there something's wrong. I honestly don't know how some people even wake up in the morning and put their clothes on or operate and function as a normal human being in our society. If you can't tell, like, you don't have any sense of danger, any human-like instincts that will tell you, like, oh, wait, you said this was a conspiracy theory and you weren't doing this, and then you turn around and do it 2 months later. Obviously, there's something bad going on here. Obviously, the intentions here aren't pure. This isn't being done to help us. When we called it out that the ban was coming months ago, they should have just been like, yeah, we think this is good for the future. We think it's good for your health. This is what needs to happen. They didn't do that. They said you were conspiracy theorists. You all are idiots. They laughed at us. They labeled us as, Republican, GOP, MAGAs, and I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not any of these things. I'm just a dude in pursuit of the truth. I get labeled random things all the time. I don't care. But that's what they do. They throw labels at you, and then they accuse you of being this, and they smear your name. Meanwhile, they're out here doing what you accused them of doing. So no, I don't think anyone in their right mind should feel comfortable about this ban simply because they tried to cover it up. Now, when you're doing something that's good for people's health and good for the environment and good for society, usually you don't have to cover it up, right? If you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. There's no need for secrets. There's no need to do the right thing in the dark. They're doing it in the shadows for a reason. They lied about it up until this point for a reason. Just a couple of weeks ago, this was still one big conspiracy until the law passed 3 days ago. And that's how it happens to you folks. They label things conspiracies all the time. A few months later, you realize it's the truth. And by then, it's already too late. Maybe people should start listening. Most people probably won't. And we'll continue heading down the path that we're headed. But I will damn sure continue calling this stuff out. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And I'll talk to you all in the next video.